Dork Podcast with Rich Keefe. It's the Dork Podcast and Davey. It's the Dork Podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag Dork Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs. He is Razzmatazz Von Dazzmatazz. He is Davey Snaps. All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan Davey. Davey, how are you?
I am fucking exhausted. I'll tell you that.
I'll tell you, that's like your running kind of normal check-in. You're always tired. Every time I talk to you.
Well, this is
extra. This is the
this
beyond.
month. This month has been pretty brutal, but
yeah.
Shooting a festival for 3 days straight for
too much.
Like 8 hours a day with like 30 pounds of camera gear strapped to me. Like I have my hips and like my upper back are like just fucked
too much
right now.
Too much.
And so I don't know. So they give their like photo passes and media passes, which are different.
Okay.
So there's all these different passes at Boston Calling. So I got a media pass, which is so, you know, like in concerts when like the photographers come in, like, and they shoot the first three in the front and they leave.
Yeah.
They have like their own like place they can go.
Yeah. Okay.
That's photo passes. I had a media pass. So I was in the goddamn crowd the whole time.
Oh,
and not only was
that's
I like,
worse, isn't it?
It's so much worse because like I just like go and like,
yeah,
and then I'm done, and then I walk away, and then I'm done, and I can take a break and like go, like I'm stuck out there. So yesterday I was stuck out on my feet from 1 o'clock till 10 o'clock, just on my feet.
At least it wasn't like 100 degrees. At least it was
last year. It was,
yeah, right.
But we traded that for cold and pissing rain on Friday.
Nice. Who was the best band or act?
So going by day, I can tell you. So I got there a little late on Friday because of work and everything. But like, I'm telling you right now, T-Pain, fucking electric. Like that guy was awesome.
Nice.
And it was just him and a DJ, and he was just like a break dancing and like cruising around the stage. Like I don't think you don't realize like how many songs he's on, but I don't think that guy's ever recorded a bad song.
No. Did he do On a Boat?
He did like I didn't see that, but he did like Buy Your Drink, and he did that song with he does with Kanye. But he was just hit after hit after hit. Yeah. And then
that's sweet.
So that was Friday. It was rain. I don't like Luke Combs enough to stick around to ruin a camera because it was like really coming down. I was like, screw this, I'm going home.
Out of here.
But then Cage the Elephant was awesome on Saturday. The Maine was really good. And then on Sunday, I'm looking at the schedule right now. Tom Morello was unbelievable.
Oh, nice.
As was Public Enemy. Like you would have loved that. Sublime. So Sublime. It's, I don't know if you know this, but it's Bradley Knowles' son Jacob is now the singer of Sublime.
Really? No, I did not know that.
It's his son is now the singer, and
does he sound?
He kept saying sounds and look. They did Garden Grove to open. Yeah. Kid didn't miss a note.
Wow.
Crushed it.
Wow.
He's playing with his dad's guitar, and he was talking about like how this would have been so cool, like for his dad and blah blah blah. Look it up. It was the anniversary of his dad's death.
Oh my god! Day.
So, but it was such a really cool thing. And then Dave Matthews was awesome. But yeah, I would say T-Pain stole the show.
We had on today. We were just like ripping a bunch of Sesame Street songs, like a medley, like on YouTube.
Yeah,
Dave Matthews and Grover do a fucking unbelievable song. It's like kind of sad because it's like the Dave Matthews like cadence. It's just like you're not happy all the time. It's kind of like a little sitting on the stoop, and Grover and Dave Matthews, the two of it's a duet.
Oh, excellent. And I tweeted about it. I did my first interview.
Oh yeah, who did you talk to?
So it was a band called Amble, who are from Ireland.
Nice.
And they're opening for Hozier at Fenway. So I was like, oh, so I got their PR person reached out to me. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll sit down with them. So I had just a nice chat. It's on record. I don't know if we can put it on the Dork YouTube page. I don't want to put you on the spot.
We can even pick an episode of the podcast, send it to me. I'll throw it on at the end.
All right, nice. Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll fucking toss it on
the
end.
Little interview. I fanboy a little bit because they are really good. And I did listen to their album, which just came out. So check out Amble if you like Irish music, like newer traditional Irish music. It's good shit.
Like in Sinners.
So I talked about that. I go, have you seen Sinners yet? They're like, no, but everyone keeps talking about it. I go, yeah, they do a version of Rocky Road to Dublin. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. Like we definitely have to see it now.
Yeah.
But they did say, I did at one point mention that everyone in Boston likes to think that they're Irish, and they're like, no, Boston is Irish. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess
we'll take it.
We'll take it. Yeah.
Fine. Boston is Irish. Yeah. Good enough. All right. Well, very good. So, and then people can see your photos just at Ryan Davey Photo on Instagram, Twitter, or
start putting more on Twitter too, because I think Twitter's easier to do. So if there's anything you want to see, let me know. Any of those acts you want to see. I was very busy yesterday. Yesterday was a busy day. So
love it. There you go. All right, let's get to this.
This week in Dork. Yeah.
We're up to our hog in topic du jour today, so we're not going to beat around the bush here. But I do want to say quickly, a bunch of movies became available to stream this week. Some were in theaters early in the year. Some were just released this past weekend. And I watched all of them. And so let me tell you what I watched. I watched Fountain of Youth. Listen to this and let me know if you think it'd be good. Guy Ritchie directs it, starring John Krasinski and Natalie Portman as brothers and sisters who it's like Indiana Jones meets the Da Vinci Code.
Okay, I vaguely remember this coming out.
But it's that, but it stinks. So take all those things and make it awful.
What's the worst version of that? Yeah. There it is.
Take a shitty version of Guy Ritchie. And Guy Ritchie I like, but he is obviously hit or miss. Krasinski, it turns out I don't think I like him. I don't like A Quiet Place, and I didn't like that movie If, and I didn't like this. So maybe it's him. I don't know.
Maybe it's him.
It was frustrating though. This movie, it's on Apple. It was an exclusive Apple. I'm sure they sunk a lot of money into it. It looked cool. That's how I would describe it. Like if Indiana Jones and Da Vinci Code sucked, and like that's what it is. So that's Fountain of Youth. I would recommend you guys skipping that.
Now there are two Guy Ritchie movies that if sleeper Guy Ritchie movies, which you haven't seen them, they're really good, and I will go to my grave with this. One, Rock and Rolla is really good if you haven't seen that one. And two, what was the one I was thinking of? Not Revolver.
You're thinking of Sherlock Holmes.
No, that was good too. But
well, I mean, his two, like not his first.
His two. Snatch and Lock, Stock are like two of the best.
Yeah, I mean, those are the best. Snatch is like my favorite movie ever. But
what was The Gentleman? The Gentleman is unbelievable. If you haven't seen that.
Yeah. No, Guy Ritchie's got more good than bad. But this, I couldn't believe that he did this. I'm like, this was such a, here's a movie with stars in a cool setting. And it's going to be on a streamer. Like you could just kind of tell. So you guys can skip that. And if you have seen it, let me know your thought. Fear Street Prom Queen. Eyeballs and I were huge fans of the first trilogy. We did a standalone on it. You can check it out in the archives. The first three Fear Streets, which they released 1 week apart, which is still one of the coolest release schedules for a movie trilogy ever. And years later, they came out with this, also on Netflix. It was a one-off. Not great.
Tip to tail piece of shit. This movie stunk, and it didn't stink in the way that it was like campy because it tried to do that.
Yeah,
but it was even bad at that.
Yeah, the only reason I gave it a 3, you gave it a 2 out of 6.
I gave it a 2.
I gave it a 3, and it was because they had so many desperate like homages to like Scream and Halloween and like all these ones, and it's like it's a sexy teen horror thriller sent on prom night. Like it's everything I want in a movie, but it was just like the characters all kind of fell flat.
I think so. This isn't a spoiler, but like one of the killers once walks with a knife like straight up in the air, like she's like walking. Or
scary.
The killer is like walking towards the girl, like with her arm. Like, picture yourself holding a knife point down and then just extending your arm straight up in the air. Like she's walking at her like that.
Yeah, coming for you.
Like, come on.
We're not going to tell you whether she got away or not.
Not gonna tell you.
I also saw on HBO Max, it was in theaters earlier this year, Mickey 17.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Not yet.
I didn't like it. I know. Listen, we've differed before, so maybe you'll love it. Maybe people out there love it. Oh yeah, I already see Jason in the chat. I'm with him. He's a disappointed. I'm absolutely, dude. I went in. It's the director of Parasite. It's Robert Pattinson playing multiple roles. It's super like sci-fi, futuristic, and without going too overboard on like a review, because Davey, you haven't seen it yet. but basically Mark Ruffalo is playing like a Donald Trump ripoff, but it's like,
What end?
Yeah, like it wasn't for me. Like, just get Shane Gillis. Either do it like super funny or like just don't. You know what I mean? I was like, just do something else then. But so that was annoying. But the whole thing, I was like, I was left being like, damn. Because if you remember, that got pumped from 2024 release to 2025, and then it also swapped release dates with Sinners, because they're both owned by the same studio or whatever. And the thought was, they thought Sinners was going to be better, so they would prefer that in April rather than March. And they
was
100% correct. So sometimes the studios are correct.
Yeah.
So anyway, those 3 movies. So yeah, Fear Street is Netflix, Fountain of Youth is Apple, and Mickey 17 is HBO. But honestly, I watched all of those, so you guys didn't have to.
All right.
I would skip each and every one of them. All right. In the meantime, Ryan, I say we get to this, sir.
Y'all ready for bisque?
Topic du jour. Well, I'm glad you asked, because it's the topic of the day. And today, it is The Last of Us Season 2, the HBO series, which ran 7 episodes.
Odd number.
2 shy of the Season 1, which was also an odd number of 9. So they went 9 in Season 1, 7 in Season 2.
5 in Season 3.
Yeah, they just keep
odd numbers going down.
It ends on a movie. It ends with just one single episode. So we'll begin as we do with all of our movie and TV reviews, spoiler free. Season 2 of The Last of Us. Ryan, did you like it?
I did. I like this. It was good.
I did too. I think that would be the highest praise, though, I would give it. I did not love it. I didn't. I had a bunch of issues with it. And it's not the same issues that you might see like on Twitter. Like, there's a lot of angry people, but it's not for me. Like that whole thing. Like, there's a lot of hate for Bella Ramsey. I just think they're gonna have trouble, and we'll get into a lot more of this in spoilers, with like what made the game great and how you can't necessarily take that and apply it to a TV show. Or I guess you could, but they've chosen not to. And I think
they've chosen to explain things way more than they have to at times.
That too. And also like 7 episodes, like this certainly could have used 9, and then obviously a Season 3.
Yeah, I do feel like where the season ended, though, is like a very critical point in the game.
Yeah. But here's the problem, and I know this happens with TV shows all the time.
No, there is a problem. I know what the problem is going to be in Season 3.
Well, one of the problems is in the game, you get that, and you're like, oh, damn, continue, and just keep playing. Whereas this show, they're saying might not even come out for like another 2 years.
Right. And it's going to be I'm just telling you now, it's going to be a very different season.
All right.
Spoilers,
I do agree with that. Season 1, we did a whole. Actually, I think we did weekly breakdowns of Season 1, but you can go find it in the archive. Davey ended up giving Season 1 a 6. I gave it a 5.5. I would say Season 1 to me was better. I don't know. It helped that it was probably a little bit longer, and it helped for some of the other stuff. I also, and I mentioned this like in passing last week on the podcast, but this was the first time, and not to be the snobby book guy, but last 2 weeks I was like, game's better, and it's a hard thing. It's almost unfair for the show, because the game is really like a 7-stone game. Like it's a
masterpiece.
It's just it's the best. So it wasn't gonna be as good, but now I'm like, man, we're getting even further away. Like Season 1 to me was closer. I'm like, all right, I see what's different, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying how they're doing it. And then Season 2, maybe my expectations were really high, which is possible, but I liked it. I still was looking forward to it. I watched it every week right when it came out, but I was not as happy about it as I was Season 1.
Yeah, and I think, adding more characters, like this is the trouble with TV shows, is you add more characters, and then like it gets a little bit muddy with TV shows. But in video games, if you can play as that character, then it's something. But also, the first 2 games, we talked about it before. Like, think of like the best zombie movie you could ever think of, and you can play it.
Yeah,
like that's what the games were. And so it's hard to translate. And this, like you said, some of the choices that were made, I wouldn't have made.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Yeah, like some people refer to it as smart Walking Dead, and not necessarily that the walkers are smart, but just like the way the show,
the way it's written. Yeah,
with the way it's written, it's like smart.
Yeah.
Walking Dead. Now, is your wife watching this with you?
She has not seen the last 2 episodes, but she was.
Because I'm curious for the non-gamer, and I haven't talked to him about the finale yet, but Greg Hill and Jermaine Wiggins are both watching the show, and they both come, and neither one played the game, and so Greg's been liking it the whole time. Wiggy's like, man, like I think, let's just say he was upset with something that happened early in the season, and then he was still just sort of like, he needed like a little bit more action, and like with him not knowing where things go, I'm like, I didn't want to say too much to him, but I'm like, yeah, I get. So I just wondered, do you think overall it's a good show for non-gamers? Like, is it just a good Sunday night HBO show, or is part of your real like to it your attachment to the game?
Well, I feel like one of those people now, like you said, that read all the Game of Thrones books, and it's like, oh, you haven't seen anything yet. I am definitely one of those people, but like, so I get really surprised, and most of the time in a good way, sometimes in a bad way, but like some of the changes they've made, to even like the characters or just like how the story goes. And I think it's because it's a TV show, because it's a different medium, you kind of have to do those things.
Yeah.
Because and it's something silly, like, you know, you might pick something up in the game that like tells you a little bit about this, but the characters don't say it to each other. And I think that's kind of where I got hung up. There's some things where like characters say things to each other where I'm like, that's not how that.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's still to me a must watch. To me, it's still a great video game adaptation. But yeah, I don't know. Like I thought season 1 was a shoe-in for dorky TV show of the year.
Yeah.
And now I'm left being like, yeah, for me, I don't know if it's gonna. I mean, well, I don't know what you think of it, but like, I don't know if it would be nominated for me right now. And we're not even halfway through the year, but I can already think of a handful of shows I like better.
Yeah.
But what is your dork score for season 2?
I'm gonna give it a 5.
I'm going 4.5.
Yeah.
I'm going 4.5. I did
whole stone each.
Yeah. Right. A whole stone down from season 1. I liked stuff. There was stuff in the finale I liked. I also had issues with the finale. So like, as I'm watching the show, I sort of had like how I felt about the season, and I'm like talking myself up like a half stone, talking myself down. I'm like, and I'm like, I'm going 4.5. If you guys are in the live chat, you can let us know what your score is for this season before we get into spoilers. You can always email us as well, dorkpodcast@gmail.com, or hit us up on Twitter and Instagram, your scores for this season of The Last of Us. Any non-spoiler stuff you want to hit on?
No.
Okay, I think we got it.
Spoilers! Here come the spoilers!
Real quick, because he was asking about it in the chat. It's funny, like I was even thinking this the last 2 episodes. There's like, they've completely taken away any form of zombies at all. It seems like we haven't dealt with zombies at all the last couple of episodes.
No. More scars and wolves and things like that. But that is a very big part of the second game. But it's almost akin to Friday Night Lights, where like football is just the setting. It's just the like what all of those characters have in common. It has really nothing to do with the show.
Right. Although the football scenes were good.
They were good.
They did a
lot that Tim Riggins was a hoss.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, Friday Night Lights, it's like the one sports or football movie or show that they dressed correctly. They didn't have like oversized pads or fucking goofy helmets.
Oh, I love Tim Riggins with the tombstone and the back plate.
Oh God, it was a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Spatted up ankles. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So here's my thing with this game. So we know in the second game, you get to play as both Ellie and Abby. And so for non-game players, they don't know what to expect with Abby, and they sure don't know like what attachment you might grow to her. But I think right now, and where this show leaves off, I don't think the entire audience loves Ellie. And I feel like in the game, even with her flaws, I feel like you loved her. And I feel like you loved her and Joel, and you were fucking on her side no matter what. Whereas I feel like the game or the show hasn't even flipped yet to Abby.
No.
And you're already annoyed at Ellie. And I'm like, part of that is because unlike the show, or I'm sorry, unlike the game, the show takes time with other characters. So you see this world from Isaac's perspective. You see this show from Dina and Jesse, you see it from all these different people, which is what you do with like a TV show. But for the game, you were Joel and Ellie for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And you were obsessed with them. And then as soon as you flipped to Abby, you were like, I don't want to fucking do this. And then I ended up loving Abby. Abby to me is the GOAT. I love Abby. Abby's my favorite character. But like right now, I don't think viewers of the show really like any of them.
No, and I think like you said, I think the idea when you're playing the game, and you see this mechanic of like Seattle day 1, Seattle day 2, Seattle day 3, and then what happens in the finale in this show happens, and it goes right back to Seattle day 1, but it's from Abby's perspective. Because you remember you played as Abby a little bit, and it was like not very. There was some action, but there wasn't a ton of action. You didn't, so we knew that you were going to play as a different character. We didn't know that half the game was going to be somebody else.
Right.
Because it's legitimately half the game. Because you play Ellie 1, 2, 3, and then the game it's at that same point with that gunshot, and then it skips back to day 1. So then you play Abby's storyline all the way through, like those 3 days.
She goes
which
through
is
some shit,
you didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah. And for the record, for those of you that haven't played the game, we won't spoil like what happens at the end of the game. We'll talk about what happens in the game up to this point.
Yeah.
Just don't like give away the end, basically.
No. Because there's a lot there.
We'll just say Abby goes through some shit in her 3 days, but that's what the next season will be.
You can see it. So you can see it in the last scene. When her and Ellie, she's like, I let you live. You see, she's got the rope marks around her neck too. Like some shit goes down.
I like her. I'll say this a million times. I wish she was more jacked. She's jacked in the game. Abby is like a strong fucking like killer.
Yeah.
Not like grotesque, but like she's fucking strong.
She is in good shape. And they talk about her being like in super good shape and being like Isaac mentioned it in the show how good a soldier she is, but she looks like a fucking soldier.
Yeah, so it's a little tough to pull off. This girl, what's her name? Abigail
Caitlin Devers.
Caitlin Devers. Yeah. So excellent actress. And it's going to be tough for her to pull off like that kind of badassery. And like there is that scene where Isaac's trying to like put her over. So you're like, all right, I guess I get that. It is a fucking badass scene though at the end of the finale though, when they hear the gunshot, they come running up. She fucking pops Jesse in the face, got the gun pointed on Tommy, and is just like standing there by herself. Like that is,
which is shot for shot, like how literally, like how that happens.
And then even the way they do the like Seattle day 1, and you like walk out of the room and into the hallway like Abby, it's literally like you're controlling her for the first time. So they do.
And it's the first time you see like how big the wolves actually are. You think it's just like this like group of 20 people, and it's a whole fucking city.
Yeah. I just feel like they have the whole where the Seahawks play covered with stuff. Yeah, I just feel like at this point of the show. So, all right, let's talk about this because it's all spoilers and it's been out for a while. How did you think they pulled off the Joel murder?
As faithfully as they could. I think they said in like the after show thing, like that's something that we knew we had to get right.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved Pedro Pascal, defiant till the end. And he's just like, if you're gonna do it, shut the fuck up. If you're gonna do it, do it.
Yeah, it's great.
Like that was and just having that, he's almost fine with it because he knew, like, we didn't know this, but he had this conversation with Ellie that was kind of like, kind of spilled the beans as to like what happened, with that whole thing. And so I think he knew that he kind of deserved it in a way.
Well, that's what it comes down to. Like, who's the villain of this show?
I mean, now, again, it's Ellie, but you're not supposed to know that yet.
Yeah, but I don't think you're supposed to know that. But even after the first game, I mean, you could say Joel's the villain, and not to get too morbid, but not that you and I wouldn't make the exact same decision that Joel made, but we're just saying like, if they really could have found a cure, and he murdered everybody and prevented a cure from being made just to save Ellie, the world could certainly look at Joel as the villain.
You're right. But again, like in the moment, like I thought about this, not to be morbid, but like I've thought about this and, yeah, sure. But my world dies.
Right.
And how far are you willing to go for like the people you love? I mean, that's the,
and that's now what Ellie's doing, because Ellie's being now So she was mad at Joel for that whole thing. And there's that great scene with Nora, which is a good scene for Ellie. It's one of the best Ellie scenes.
Mhm.
She's beating the brakes off of Nora, and Nora's like, "Do you know what he did?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, I did. I do." And then just fucking keeps going to work on her. She chased her down. Nora was fast as shit. Nora probably ran like a 4.540.
Oh yeah.
Scooting out of there. But Ellie caught up to her. Yeah, so obviously she was pissed at Joel for that whole thing for a while. And then, I guess they kind of make do in a sense. Also,
but
a good
correct
scene.
me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, go ahead.
So one of the things they added, I don't think Ellie never tells Dina.
See, I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but
Yeah.
I specifically don't remember Dina and Ellie having that conversation that like that's what Joel did. I thought she never told her.
Yeah, it's because Dina just kind of looks at her like, the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't think she's thrilled with that.
No.
I like her conversation with Jesse though, about like Jesse's this great guy because he wants to save his community, but like Jesse wouldn't save that kid. And then Ellie's like, my community is Joel, so like I'm trying to avenge him.
Right. And then he comes to that thing where he's like, I know now that like if it were me lost out there, you would burn the world down looking for me. She's like, yeah, absolutely.
10 seconds later, shot in the head.
Well, and that's just like how quickly it's just like a reminder that like the good guy doesn't always win.
No, but they did a good job. And that's also similar to The Walking Dead. Once they start really propping up a character, you're like, that guy's not going to last long.
Game of Thrones too, same thing.
So Jesse was having like some good screen time there and like good emotional connection with Ellie, actually finally seeing eye to eye with Ellie, and then gets absolutely smoked. I liked the introduction to Isaac very much in episode 4.
Yeah.
That was really good. Him just sort of flipping sides and just killing guys. And
someone made a great Easter egg find. In the game, you actually find that truck.
Oh no shit.
You can find that truck. Yeah.
That is pretty cool. Dina is really one of the great supporting characters because also in episode 4, that's where her and Ellie are together. They gotta like survive. They show, you can see how badass both of them are. I also like, it's a simple thing. It happens in all like zombie movies, but Dina and Ellie are like outside and they hear all these like clickers, and she's just sitting there counting them. Like she hears the like, screeches and she's like, fucking, oh, there's okay. Yeah, there's
she goes up to like 10. She's like,
yeah, we're running out of fingies.
Yeah. And those things are fucking, they're the worst. They're not even that hard to kill in the game. They're just annoying.
And like, especially if you play with like headphones or like a surround sound or something, and it's like, it's that PM.
And I was telling somebody that like someone was asking me about the TV show versus the game. And I was like, well, one of the things you miss in the TV show is that like 3D audio, where like you hear shit like behind you.
Yeah.
Like that's wild.
Get yourself a home theater.
I had headphones. I have a good pair. I'm an audiophile. I love my headphones.
That's true. Scars. So now we're also getting introduced to all these different groups. And like, that's like a big thing too in episode 7, where Jesse and Tommy, they're all out there and they're like, we're in like a war zone out here. Like we're not on either side. Like, we just need to get the hell out of here. Like this is bad news right now.
And I thought that was a great thing too when they were like torturing that kid, and Ellie was trying to run out, and Jesse was like, "Stop!" He's like, "There's 6 of them. Like, what are you gonna do?" And I think if you play the game on like permadeath, like the hardest setting, like those are choices you have to make. Yeah. Like you're not gonna kill 8 people on your own.
Yeah, you're not.
They're gonna get got.
Yep.
And especially like that's again same thing. They're like whistling all around your head, and you're like.
Yeah,
ducking, you know.
What the fuck? Yeah. We're taking the episode 6, which was the big flashback episode where we got Eugene with Joey Pants.
That again, it's we got closure on that whole like Eugene thing. But the museum scenes were so good.
Yeah, that museum, that again, you just remember that from the video game completely, like the dinosaur and the spacecraft, all that shit. It was really good. The Eugene part's new to the TV show. That's not in the game. Like there's like a photo of Eugene, but there's no like full story of him.
And you go to like his hideout.
Yeah.
At some point. But and there is a lot of weed there.
That's true. There was, I don't know, like, did you like that scene or not? Where basically he comes back, he tells Catherine O'Hara, like, sorry, he was gone, and like whatever, and they're like about to mourn him, and then she's just like, nope, not true.
I think that's just like teenagers not understanding like the bigger picture. Like
Yeah.
sometimes the lie is better. And like so, but like one of the things they pointed out is like at the end of season 1, when Joel lies to Ellie about what happened with the Fireflies, and she says, "Do you swear?" And he says, "Yes."
Mhm.
So you remember, like when he said he wouldn't kill Eugene, she said, "Do you promise?" He said, "I promise."
Yeah.
And then she came back and she shot and she sees him dead, and she said, "You swore." Because she again, they were like, you saw the same look on his face, so she knew then that he was lying.
Right, and that's what she was mad about. She wasn't all that mad about. I mean, she's still mad about Eugene,
but I think it's like trying to tell a 17 or 18-year-old that like, no, I understand that like telling the truth is the right thing, but like sometimes you can't tell the truth.
Yeah.
And not being able to understand that as a kid and just being like, no, you lied. Like you lied to me. Then just like spouting off, like not knowing that that's going to damage way more than what, you know? So like, I'm not advocating for lying. I'm just saying that sometimes
there's a massaging of the truth.
And, you know, Joel didn't lie. And I think, and in the end, I think Joel was right. I think Joel was right that like, he wasn't going to make it back. Remember he saw his hand shaking? Like when they were at the thing, his hand was already shaking.
Yeah, I think Joel may have been right, but I think Joel also had already made up his mind.
Oh, yeah, he was, but again, he's right.
Yeah, no, he is.
He's like, we're gonna like take this guy back, and he's gonna like turn halfway through. We're gonna have to do it anyway. Let's just do it now when he has the like opportunity to like.
I agree. Yeah, like that's bullshit. That, like, so what? He can like say "I love you" to his wife, but like, or he like turns at that second and like lunges after, and it's more traumatic for her. Like, that's also, and I know this is from the game, but it's also just circling all the way back to this whole thing. Like, Abby killing Joel. I mean, in this world, in this dog eat dog world,
that's right.
You got to kill the other 2 people that are there. They're obviously going to come after you. Like that's not bright. It's, like, it's great for the video game, but it's not. But smart.
It's also like you're doing this under the. And again, you know, when horrible scene. And again, this is one of the things I talked about. Then like it gets worse when like Ellie kills Mel and Owen.
Oh my god!
And gets Mel by accident, and you're like. And she says, like, I'm not like you, but then does exactly what they do. So, like, you are. Like, you keep pretending like you're better than everybody, but you're not.
Oh, like, no, everybody. So, like, they're all saying you're different. And then all the people with her are just trying to get her home at this point. We're like, all right, we're done. We're done with this.
We're done.
Like, no. Also, the game, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Tommy way more dead set on, like, we're going to avenge Joel? Whereas, I thought so. They kind of softened that where they didn't make it out to be like Tommy was all about that shit. And in this one, it was more like Ellie made up her mind. She was doing it.
Yeah. And I think, and he, I think winds up sticking around now, right? No, there's another, no, because it's, never mind. I got it crossed up because him shooting, you get to see the other side of that.
Yeah, they do mention the like because Jesse hears the sniper on the radio and they say and then they hear the shots. And like, that's got to be Tommy. And Ellie's like, it might not be Tommy. And she's like, dude, it's fucking Tommy.
So you get to play the other side of that.
Yeah, and all I'll say without giving away the game is Tommy's a motherfucker out there. Tommy's
a menace. He's what they call in baseball a tough out.
Yeah, he's he's like that. These games you need to have infinity lives because. Tommy is he's a tough go. Yeah, but Owen and Mel is obviously insane, and that's going to be something that.
And they made it so much worse in the show.
Yeah, they did.
They made it so much. That was such because like in the game,
she's pregnant in the game. Yeah.
Ellie shoots her, and then like the jacket kind of falls open, and she's already dead by the time Ellie finds out. Now she's like telling her to like how to cut a baby out of her, and you're like, God damn it. Like that was way worse.
No, that was so much worse.
Oh, so much worse.
Fucking Owen. There's also something about it, and I don't even view Abby as a villain. And like, I love Abby, but there's something about it from the Ellie perspective when she pieces the clues together and she finds out that she's at the aquarium. And maybe it's because it's like a thunderstorm and it's at night, but there's something fucking badass about like looking through the binoculars to be like, she stays in the aquarium. Like for some reason, it's almost like being in like a castle or like a fortress, like a lair. She's like, that's where Abby lives. and it's like it adds like a layer of mystique to it.
Yeah, and what's crazy too that they don't really touch on in the first season and the whole thing that like Ellie can't swim in the first game. Remember,
Oh.
like you have to like figure shit out to like get her across things because she can't swim.
Oh yeah.
And then in the museum scenes with Joel, that's when he's like teaching her how to swim. So she's not that good a swimmer. So like that's when like her getting into a boat and going over there shows this like resolve that like,
yeah,
I don't care. Like I'm gonna face like my biggest fear.
I'm doing it
to go do this.
Yeah,
twice.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
twice.
so it's funny. Dave in the chat, and I watched the after the episode thing, but Dave says having Ellie capsize on the island for 2 minutes was such a waste of time and seems so out of place.
Yeah, it yes and no. They could have done that another. I feel like they could have done that another way, but
I heard them talking about. I don't know if it was Neil Druckmann saying, or maybe it was the director of photography of that episode was saying how they actually thought about doing that in the game, and then they didn't. Like they were gonna have like a detour there where she get like it interrupts you going there, and you were gonna have to like
get out
the scars or run away from them or kill some or whatever, but they didn't. And then so like I think they wanted to put it in the show, so maybe that's to your point. That's why I'd see, because if it wasn't that, I was even thinking was it Jason's chat before or Jason's comment, like I was waiting for like another zombie or like a clicker or something. Like we hadn't seen one in a while.
Haven't seen one in a while.
We were we were so focused on the wolves and so focused on the scars and everything else. But
it was, and again, it's just to show that like how dead set Ellie is on this thing, that she'll almost die twice, like almost drown, get picked up by the scars, get out, and then just go right back to it, like without missing a beat, like that in her mind. It's so like singularly focused.
So insane. All right. MVP of the season.
I'm gonna say, believe it or not, I think Dina. I think I'm really surprised and how good and what they've done with that character. Because then that character is just kind of like a sidekick to Ellie and doesn't really do much.
I agree. Dina was great. I would say Dina, and he wasn't in it a ton, but I did enjoy Isaac. Yeah, I mean Jeffrey Wright's great and everything.
Jeffrey Wright's fucking incredible.
Yeah, he's awesome.
But I did think Dina won the most points for me. And now that actress is Hawkgirl in Superman, right?
Oh, maybe.
Right?
Yeah, maybe. You might be right.
Now I'm more excited to see that.
Hell yeah. So
what a year for her.
Big time. So there's going to be a season 3. It's already been picked up. They were saying this past week that they probably need a season 4 in order to finish the show.
What I was saying to, like, now we're into spoilers, like if they do the Seattle day 1, day 2, day 3 thing again, when I said be ready, next season is going to be different because it's got to be all Abby.
Yeah, right. But also, how many episodes are we doing? Like back to our joke, if you're going 9, 7, 5, 3, then like if they did 9 episodes this season, and then if you did 9 episodes next season, I think you could tell the whole story. But they didn't. And so
they didn't. Yeah. So I think
they're not. And so you're right. It might be Abby. So I already think now, look, I am willing to play this out, and I'm very excited about an Abby centric show. And I think Catherine O'Hara even already sort of tipped that the obvious hand for the game player, but she was like, yeah, season 3 is all about Abby. It's like, yeah, of course. But I feel like this show turned some people off when Joel got in episode 2, because they're like, shit, I thought this was a Pedro Pascal show. He's out. So now you're kind of on the fence. And now you have Ellie as sort of your main character. And then if she takes a back seat for season 3, it's very odd. There's not a lot of shows that do that. And I don't know, like playing the game, there was always there's no long layoff. You just keep playing as much as you want to keep playing. You play with Abby for a while, but in the back of your mind, you're like, all right, I wonder if I'm going to eventually switch back and like switch back again or whatever. So it's just, I think it's difficult to tell the story this way on a TV show.
But it's interesting because looking at the chapters of the game, right? This next season is going to be like a mirror of this season with Abby, because there is Seattle day 1, day 2, day 3, but there's also this like interlude with like her and her father.
Right. Yeah.
So like there's like her when she's younger and she's like talking, and her and Owen are like doing something with her father.
Yeah.
So that's like their like museum scene.
But I just don't think I don't think it's going to be able to pull off the same feat that the game did. And maybe I'm just saying this because like I already experienced it, but you didn't want to play as Abby, and then you end up loving her.
Mhm.
So like, I think now people are probably like, all right, like I'll give it a go. Like, fine. Like, I think people are getting kind of sick of Ellie, which kind of hurts now jumping over to Abby. And then if you're going to keep popping off and telling other stories, I don't know, that sort of takes away from just the way that the other thing was sort of set up. But
I maybe people like it's because it's so fucking stupid. Like the backlash of like poor Bella Ramsey's acting her ass off in this thing. And yeah, she doesn't look like a video game character, but like
no. So people are pissed about that. Yeah, I don't even. I have less of an. I will say the only Bella Ramsey criticism I have, it's not even really her fault. It's that she was supposed to be what 19 in the first game, and then she's supposed to be 24 in the second season. And
no. Wait, no. She was.
I think she was
14.
Oh, 14 and 19, maybe.
Yeah.
She looks the exact same. she looks identical. Like they didn't do anything. Like, so that part's a little strange. But
and it's funny when you get to the end of the second game, like Ellie does look older. Like she looks older.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny, if you haven't played the games, you haven't watched all the show. Obviously, watch all the show. You can see like the characters when you first meet them in the game, and when the last time you see them in the game, it's pretty harrowing.
Like serving a presidency.
If you haven't played the games, don't do it because it'll give too much away. But
all right, that'll do it for us. That'll be so. I'm going 5, but I'm sorry. I'm going 4.5. Davey's going 5. Still optimistic about season 3 whenever we get that. Unfortunately, it sounds like it might be a little while, but those are our thoughts on The Last of Us. You guys can hit us up again, dorkpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on Twitter and Instagram, or right here on YouTube, where we stream these live on Monday nights at Dork Podcast for all of it. If you are watching live on YouTube, jump over to our other link, and we are going to review the Tim Robinson film Friendship. So we'll do that. Thanks for listening to this one. Tell a friend, tell a dork, and we'll talk to you soon.
The hashtag Dork Podcast.